Vadantoham. I'm just reciting. You see, there is a difference between recitation and singing. Normally, people do not understand this difference. Recitation of these verses should be without any musical instrument. Here also and in India also, everyone has started adding the musical instruments in recitation. So that recitation should be done with awareness on each and every word, and it clears. So today we are going to do the 6th chapter. Akasha vadantoham ghatvat prakratam jagata iti jnanam tathetasya natyago nagrahulayah. So as we understand that this master is talking about mindfulness or meditation here and now, means no practice is required. So it's all about knowledge, understanding, and clarity. This is the theme of this entire teaching by one of the great masters, Astavakra, to 6th chapter, 1st verse, Kate. I have seen your book. I have the same book. So from there we Akash vadantoham ghatvat prakratam jagata. What a beautiful iti jnanam tathetasya natyago nagrahulayah. So if we remember, why I say so, you all are seekers, so you remember. So the last 5th chapter, we learned that there are 4 ways to be in mindfulness here and now without any practice. So the first was a complete dispassion awakens. Complete 100% dispassion leads to a mindfulness state. That was the first method Master talked about. So when there is a complete dispassion, there is no likes and dislikes, there is no small and big, there is no rich and poor in my mind. That mind reaches to the purest state, and that awakens us to the real self. The second approach, he says, constant awareness of the real self behind the veil. What that means? Simple. Do I have a simultaneous awareness of the waves on the surface and the water behind? I need to be aware of that water is the essence, and the waves, they appear and disappear. Look at the second method. Third method, he says there should be a complete discernment. What is real and what is unreal. So that also leads us to a meditative state. And the fourth one, he said, equal in pain and pleasure. Last time we covered sama, dukkha, sukha, purnam. Equal in hope and in disappointment. Equal in life and in death. What is that equanimity? Means that state of the consciousness cannot be influenced by likes and dislikes. Water, in essence, cannot be influenced by storm or tsunami, or we say the impure water. So why we return to the 5th chapter? Because in the 6th chapter, he is explaining how to do the practices on each one of the method or the meditative technique. So if we look at the 5th chapter, which is, that was the complete dispassion. Complete dispassion, my friends. So, complete dispassion. So, with a reference to the complete dispassion, now this verse, Akasha vadantoham ghatvat prakratam jagata iti jnanam tathaitasya natyagu nagrahu layah. First thing, did we understand complete dispassion, discernment? We are aware of the 6 treasures and we have an intense desire for awakening in meditation. That is the first chapter I am repeating. So now if I translate this verse, what it says, it simply says, I am limitless like space. By nature, the manifested world is jar-like. This is knowledge. What he says, this is knowledge. Therefore, for this self, there is neither renunciation, neither dispassion, nor possession, nor destruction. What it means? That he is indicating that during the day, at every moment, can I become aware of the space, limitless space, which is a container. I am a content in the space, inside and outside. Mind is also a content. So can I maintain my awareness on the infinite, limitless space inside and outside? That cannot be destroyed. That remains untouched. So why to practice dispassion? Now initially he says complete dispassion. Now he is telling us a method. So what is the method? Can I maintain a simultaneous awareness of the changing and the unchanging reality? So analogy here is that space is unchanging. That is the ultimate cause. And everything is changing outside. Mind, body, intellect, relationship, everything. So where the change is taking place, the changing, that every change is taking place in the space or on the space, but still the space is not affected. So infinite space is very near to the real self. So the master is suggesting, advising the seeker that remain simultaneously aware of the space. And today is 9/11. Something happened on 9/11 and we have built another structure. But the space remained the same. I remember, I saw 9/11. So now to understand first and live into that state all the time. What is changing is not me. Maintain your awareness. I'm speaking, changing, body is changing, mind is changing, intellect is changing, ego is changing, the world outside is changing, but one thing, that space, a reference point, is not changing. Can I maintain that awareness all the time? Have you seen the traditional Russian dolls? They are a representation of mother carrying the child within her. You know the child appears very big, and you start removing, and you find ultimately the space. So here the word is used. We should not misunderstand, but we should understand. There is a word in yoga, we say laya yoga. Tyago nagraho layaha. Laya, the word means absorption. The waves in the water rise and disappear. Can I say the waves appear and then they are absorbed? Nothing happens to the water. Thought rise, thought merge into the mind. The body rises, a human frame, and the body falls, disappear. So here he is taking a simile that everything, whatever is changing, is happening on the space. Everything happening in the body, mind, intellect, and ego is happening on that real self. So can I maintain, can I live into simultaneous awareness of the container and the content? The content is constantly changing and the container never changes. So here the container is the space. So he says, once you are able to maintain simultaneous awareness, you don't need dispassion or discernment. But this is for the highest level of a seeker. This is for the highest level of a seeker. So that is why you see that in our tradition, we don't talk of the higher principles. Otherwise, those who are non-seekers will misunderstand it. Oh, I have to do nothing, I'm aware of the space. You see that? No, I'm always aware of the space. One student I was talking to, Ashok, he has been with me for 20 years. So he took everything literally and he has gone wild. So he went to his wife more than 20 years ago. He said, I'm in the state of dispassion. What I have to do with you? So I'm just cautioning you by that example. Then divorce took place. Now they both approach me. I love both of them. What I have to do with one or the other. And then he went to my master and he forced the master that I want the orange robe. So he said, master said, okay, you wear that orange robe. And then he told me, now I have become a monk. I'm not telling you the name. So you see that is why we do not talk of these higher principles. So that if you misunderstand, then you will say meditation is, is harming me. So you have to be very clear. That is why Master says purify the mind, purify the intellect. So coming back, word dissolves. You see that what happens? What he says, Akash vadantoham. I am like a limitless, like a space. So in that space, there is no trace of any thought that is causing likes and dislikes. We have to understand it clearly. The space cannot be affected by likes and dislikes. So the real self cannot be affected by likes and dislikes. Like waves appear and disappear, like the same way we say like birth and the death takes place of the body, not of the real self. So Master is saying, this is the knowledge. I have to live into that awareness. It is clarity. So the Master says very clearly, this is the right knowledge, this is the clarity, this is meditation, this is awakening. Such a beautiful way he has put it. Iti jnanam tathetasya na tyago na graho layah. You don't need any kind of dispassion because you are already there. But if you are not a seeker, we have to continue the practice of discernment. We are not the highest level of a seeker. So we continue the journey of discernment, dispassion, six treasures. Otherwise the mind will attach. That attachment remains, that is known as impurity. So that friend of mine, I was talking about him, he is still wandering. He is enjoying his life. Wandering here and there. Now Master is no more there physically. So his wife also calls me sometime and he also calls me. Sir, I am in. Okay, I said, yes, very good. You are there. So remember this. I'm just cautioning you. We should not be carried away. Now another thing that needs to be understood very clearly, that this false self cannot exist without the real self. It is always supported by the real self, like the blueness of a sky. Because if there is no sky, there is no blueness. There is no mirage, there is no water. There is no water, there is no waves. Where we are going, take your intellect, there is no real self, there is no body. That is why if someone dies, we say he has left. His body is still there. Do you see that? His body is still there. And still we say he has left. This is what, so once we live into that awareness, plus we continue, if I say so, meditate on the space. There's no meditation on the space. You are simultaneously aware of the space with that is unchanging reality. And whatever is changing, it is happening on the surface. The waves are happening on the surface of the water. The blueness of the sky is happening on the sky. So, but the sky supports the blueness. Why? Because of ignorance. Where is ignorance? Misunderstanding. What is misunderstanding? That is wrong notion created by the mind and the intellect. So that is why he says, if I live with the simultaneous awareness of the space, I see the false self and I also see this is not me. I see the body, the not me, where question comes of likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment. Mind, not me. Thought, not me. Intellect, not me. Ego, not me. What is the ultimate? That is what the Master is saying. Keep your awareness on the space even while doing every activity in the waking state. And that leads us to the highest state of meditation. So this is the first method by an example from the 5th chapter, the complete dispassion. So either we follow the practice, we should understand what is dispassion and we should apply in our life so that at least the mind gets purified. After that, we need to do only one thing, that is maintain your awareness of the space. You see that how many times we are aware of the space, our mind is colored by the likes and dislikes. Say, for example, hatred for a person, and that person appears before you, we forget the space and mind is colored by the hate. Have you seen that? We lose that awareness. So the Master is saying, hatred is on the surface, the first is the space. us to the space. Ashok looks like a vampire, You have closed your light? Yes, sir. That's good. So can we say everything appears and disappears on the space? So here Master says that the mind cannot understand what is behind the mind, what is beyond the mind. Means when we transcend the mind, then only we meditate. But still he is trying to explain that everything appears and disappears on the space. The space is a silent witness. Space is awareness and awareness is space. Take it that way. That space does not participate in our likes and dislikes. That space does not participate in categorizing, in classifying the knowledge of the world outside. The space remains as a witness. What do you mean by witness? It is unchanging. It has a perception. It is pure consciousness. So when there is a pure consciousness as a witness, so Master says, maintain your awareness of the space inside, outside, everywhere. And continue your working. Continue to live your life. You will discover that you need not to practice dispassion and discernment. You are already there. You are living in meditation. You are speaking out of meditation. You are thinking from that meditative state. Space is a silent witness. Meditation on the space. Akash vadanto ham ghatvat prakratam jagata. Akash. There is another example Master gives. You take a tumbler, so there is a space inside and there is a space outside. Are these two spaces different? Are there two spaces or it is only one? It appears two, but essentially it is one. It appears two, but essentially the space is not divided. Same way, the real self, that pure consciousness, cannot be divided. It is divided because mind does not have that dispassion, or the mind has a wrong notion. Take another example. We say living being, non-living being. That is how we explain all the objects in the universe and the world. They are non-living being. There is a living being. What is common? Being is common. Can I see that? What is that being? That being is consciousness. Non-living being. Then we have a plant. But then can the material non-living being realize that they don't have a fit instrument? They don't live in higher self-awareness. They don't have an intellect. What about plants? They have a life, but they don't have a perfect instrument of the mind. Animal being, their intellect and the mind is limited by the nature. They are pre-programmed. You can say they are Windows by default, computer by default. Every time they wake up, they have 4 instincts by default: sex, safety, food, and sleep. They don't want to be a millionaire. And last time I was saying, they are 100% programmed. The cows never hate the tiger because he's eating flesh. And the tiger has nothing to do with the cows, whether they are eating grass or whatever you eat. They are programmed. What is the difference? Human being. That human frame is given. So we define the human frame. The last point, we define the human frame that who has a head on the top, who has two hands and two legs. Even the monkeys can use the two legs as hands, but they are not actually hands. They are not actually arms. So we define the vertical, and another point that we say, the vertical spine. That is representation of higher self-awareness, free intellect, which can observe, which can choose, and it can make a decision. What choose? I can make a decision carried away by the likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, high and low. You see that? I can brand, you are rich, I am poor, so I get frustrated. Another chain of thoughts. You are more beautiful, I am less, then again chain of thoughts in the mind. You look at the importance of dispassion. Look at this importance of dispassion. Now, what it has to do when I say brand is more beautiful than me? It's totally different aspect, but still the mind carries these thoughts. And then what happens? This is a wrong notion. Then what happens? Then we carry these wrong notions. 10 years ago, I have some past memories that returned. Christina is laughing. What I have to do with it? I'm attached to it. That is why I was calming down, and it takes a week to calm down. What I am the infinite space. This is the method Astavakra talks about it. That can I live in simultaneous awareness of the ultimate cause and the secondary causes. Ultimate cause is the real self. Secondary is my mind, my intellect, my body, plus likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment. When I live into that awareness, that is knowledge, that is complete dispassion, that is mindfulness, that is awakening. Keep a smile, Kate, and let us start our practice. Now, let us do some practice also. So, eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. Just to give an example, the real self is like a railway track that never changes. What changes? The trains. What changes? The people in the train. What changes is the price of a ticket. See that? So eyes are closed. Body is steady. Mind is facing within. Eyes are closed. Everything is symbolic. Or I would say everything works with the analogy. Body is steady. So I become aware of stillness in the body. See that? We become aware of the stillness in the body, not the stillness of the body. This is the knowledge. Astavakra, our great master, says, what he says, iti jnanam, that is the knowledge, and that knowledge is mindfulness. Can I be aware of the stillness in the body, not the stillness of the body? Why? Body cannot be made still. The moment you make it still, we may get some kind of immortality of the body. Not possible. So we remove the wrong knowledge. And now eyes are closed. Again, it is an analogy that all the sense organs have a limited knowledge, one of the world outside. That the real self is infinite, all-pervading. So hence the sense organs cannot find, see, feel, touch the real self. I'm putting a knowledge into your head, into the intellect, and you simply become aware. Okay, so the eyes cannot listen, ears cannot taste, so limited. So we say goodbye to you. And the moment you say goodbye, all those likes and dislikes drops. And the third point I said, mind is facing within. What it is aware of, infinite space. One space, everywhere. If you are the space, then each one who is participating in this journey has a space. The space is common element, the real self is common. Knowledge is that power which liberates us from the suffering. So see, we have put the knowledge. Iti jnanam, that is the knowledge. Yes, thoughts may come and like the clouds. Now see the another analogy in the knowledge. Oh, the sky is clouded. The sky has clouded the sun. Come on. How can you see the cloud? By the same sunlight. And we still feel the clouded. That is the awareness we need. We see thoughts are there in the mind. But behind real self, the space. I'm repeating the same analogy. When we say the sky is clouded, do I see the sky is clouded? Yes. In whose presence? In the presence of sun. How can I say it has clouded the sun? It is present here. The same wrong notion is present. Wrong notion is a thought, is an idea, is my memory, is my past impression. I simply become aware and dispassion is there. You see, the same step I translate into deeper steps. Steadiness of the body. You instantly become aware of the stillness in the body, not the stillness of the body. You don't see, but I see Terry. Bodies became totally still. It is because of the stillness in the body, if I am aware, not stillness of the body. When I want to make the body still, the mind comes in. Mind brings an ego, let me hold on, let me make an effort, and that effort never ends. So we all are aware of the stillness in the body. Sense organs, bye-bye. You have a limited perception. Mind then becomes aware of the space. But if the sense organ with the past impression continues to work, it will not happen. That is why I made this point. And now go and see a different perspective of being comfortable. Can any cell of the body be comfortable? It is constantly changing. So is the state of comfort is the state of the real self? Yes, that is why we say being comfortable. Pay attention, remove the wrong notion. Being comfortable, not becoming comfortable. This is what the Master is saying. Being comfortable only when you are aware of the space all around. You might have done the specific meditation which I named as Shanti meditation. That works on this higher principle. Being comfortable. We are only comfortable in that space which is unchanging. What is changing? No possibility. So the Master is saying, can you live into that perception of the space all around, everywhere, in all beings? So in today's meditation, that is a primary step. What is the primary step when I say look at the neck joint? And from the primary, we can move deeper. Look at the neck joint means you are aware of the neck joint. Then from the object, we move to a mental experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Oh, it is the steadiness in the neck joint. So we picked a thread, and from there, we become aware of the infinite, limitless space. It is such an easy way, but highest meditative step, or mindfulness. We can do that. Do it by yourself with the shoulder joints. First is the object, recognize. Object is the wave, if I give an analogy like that. And then we have another experience. The shape and size of the wave is sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So we live into that awareness of being comfortable and in the space, in the stillness. From there emerges the space. Maybe you can do it on other joints by yourself. Doing is not here. Doing is not actually doing, it is knowing. What a beautiful state. Everyone is. And make sure there is no doer, because we are not doing anything. That is another highest step. When you get rid of that doer-ship, that reveals the infinite space. Now let us go to being carefree. You see, I'm using the same steps, but we go very deep inside. Carefree. Let me give the same analogy of waves versus the water. Water is in essence, the wave are the thoughts. Water is the real self. Can I have a simultaneous awareness? Thoughts are there, okay. Thoughts, feelings, sensation, everything is there. We're not fighting. We're not practicing discernment and dispassion. Not at all. We are simply aware of the water and the waves, the real self and the mind and the thoughts. We see them as senses, space. Changing is thoughts, feelings, sensation. That is what the being carefree. And that we see and witness everything in the world. So Master says the knowledge is you are aware of the both. A new structure comes up on the space. We get obsessed with that building. We forget the space. The ultimate factor, if the space is not there, the building cannot appear. If the space is not there, no thought. How can you recognize that there are two thoughts if there is no space in between? I am speaking in a structure of a sentence. Sentence contains a word, each word, second word, there is a space. We forget that space due to the wrong notion. We claim thought is everything. But thought is only a content. Container is somewhere deep inside, not affected, not influenced, not dictated. So you keep your awareness on the space, and that space method Astavakra talks about. It is not that you need to do a practice every day, 1 hour, and forget 23. No, simultaneous awareness of the space behind the thought. Master is saying, Akashvadantu ham. Can I identify that I am a limitless space? We have identified ourselves that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, I am this thought, I am the memory. Do one more mistake. We have done it in ignorance. So if I say do one more mistake, let us say I am the space and become aware of it. I am the limitless space, become aware of it. The ego comes, come on, this is my body, okay, the space inside. Now this is my house, okay, space inside and outside is one. You are treating every thought, past impression, memory, wrong notions. I am the space. Mind says I am stress. Tell the mind I am the limitless space. Not only saying, but becoming aware of it, which is a fact. Is it not a beautiful method? I will add a reminder, steady body. So you see the body is steady, but you are aware of the stillness in the body. You see, that is why we need an a constant and a regular teaching, listening, learning. Another thing that we said, sense organs are closed. It simply means now I am also aware of the infinite space inside, not limited by the sense perception. I can see you at a distance. If you go too far, you disappear. So can I say you do not exist? No, that's the wrong knowledge. So we say, okay, 5 sense organ gives us a limited knowledge, so bye-bye to you. That is why we close our eyes. Any noise is coming, striking your ears, bye-bye. Sensation, bye-bye. Taste, bye-bye. Smell, bye-bye. That is the meaning of. It's a knowledge practice. What Astavakra says, this is the knowledge. Because mind needs something to hold on. So Astavakra said, hold the mind onto the space. Space is a silent witness. Independent. So see, there are no steps in meditation. Because if there is a step, it means then we are practicing. But still I give the name for the sake of removing the wrong notion. So we went back to the knowledge of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Eyes closed. We have a right knowledge now. Sense organ, you continue working. But now I am also aware of something behind you. And that is the space. And the mind is facing within. So that is also a symbolic. Facing within does not mean you are limiting the mind to know anything that is limited. Moving the mind, looking inside simply means mind. You have been living with the likes and dislikes, hate and love, duality, conflict, confusion. With every thought that you have coined in the world, so better to see inside, face to the space. Knowledge. This is what we say, this is living in a moment. This means living here and now. According to the teaching. Being comfortable. So, for example, the neck joint, any object or neck joint, and its experience deeper, and behind that experience is the space. And I'm the space. So I'm the space. I'm not my experience. Experience is always different from experiencer. You see, that's another point the Master points out. Declare that I'm the infinite space. Mind says body. We need lot of dispassion. or discernment or other practices if we are still attached to the body. Otherwise, nothing is required. Why the knowledge takes place in the intellect. Infinite space, never changing, silent witness of everything that is changing. Is water a silent witness? Water sees one small wave, big wave, storm, tsunami, Ida we just experienced. The water as an essence never changes. But from the water we go back to the space. Infinite space. Here the Master is saying, identify that I am the limitless space. I'm Brandy, I'm Stephen, I'm David, I'm Jerry, I'm Ashok, I'm Terry. No, I'm limitless space. Do you see that? A shift. We don't know whether I am the body or not, and still we carry the wrong notion. So if your intellect says, no, I am the limitless space, how? Don't think how. Even if it is a wrong notion, add one more wrong notion and see what happens. But this is not a wrong notion. Let us go deeper into the verse again. Master is saying, I'm the Akash Vadanto Ham. How the water should know that it is not the wave, it is water. Akash Vadanto Ham. Iti Jnanam. That is the knowledge. So let the intellect solve the puzzle. How the water should know, how the water should know, or how the waves should know that, in a sense, it is the water. Only way when the wave merges into the water. It loses its identity. I believe you all got it. And that losing identity can be only done by the knowledge, by understanding. You may be doing the breathing practice for hours together. That wrong notion cannot be removed. So now apply this. If the wave loses its identity, what is my identity? You see, there is a long list of wrong notions. These are waves. I was Indian, now American, men, age, gender, Teacher, all the labels are nothing but the waves. I believe you are getting it. How the wave should know that it is nothing but the water. To lose my identity. How to lose that identity? The wave should merge into the water. We have an identity crisis that causes all the suffering. Now are you clear? Lose all the labels. What is the point, main point of that label? Ego inside. It's a right ego that I'm a man for the sake of convenience. That is also a wave. What is the wave? All these labels and the wave should merge into the space. Why? In a sense, waves are water. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, one wave. Bring your awareness on the left hand, second wave. Raise both your palms, third wave. Place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside, you see many waves. We will share our experiences of the practice we completed. Bring your hands down. How are you, David and Jerry?
Take a second to think about that. It was just very, very deep, very open space. No, just thoughts came and went. Your voice came and went. It was just peaceful and quiet.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We did nothing actually. No practice. It was only the knowledge. That is the beauty of the teaching of this great master. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. Just awareness of the space, your voice guiding us, and really just thinking about that space inside, outside, the relationship with the space, the changing and the unchanging space, and so just really aware.
Beautiful, that's good. that will take us to deeper. How are you, Terry? She became totally still.
I was thinking about I was aware of the outside and the inside space, and how I always go into the darkness of the inside space, and that's really just the place where you're closing off your visual sense.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not really
Yeah.
that's really nothing there. It's just you're seeing nothing, or you're seeing the inside of the eyelids or something. But you have the idea that it's
You're right.
space.
Yes.
But when you asked the question, I was gonna say, water doesn't need to know. That was what I was thinking. I was thinking it just is, because it's water. But that was metaphorical that you were telling us, right?
Yes, Terry is explaining a little deeper. What is? That is all. What is, not what should be. Who takes care of what should be? My mind, my intellect, my identity. What is never changes. Now I can figure out. You might have studied and heard. But you became totally still after a few minutes. So what is important? Awareness of the stillness in the body, not stillness of the body. That is in essence. How are you, Stephen?
Good. My meditation was I was within this full space that continued to expand. Some sensation in the scalp, as I explained to you the other day, but it came and went. And I'm at peace. I'm peace, calm, happy. So
beautiful.
All good.
Yeah. So once we live into that space and continue the journey, we discover the peace and happiness. They reveal themselves. We are not asking them, but they reveal. Are you aware of the space inside, outside, even at this moment? Looking at me, you are in meditation. Anyhow, look at Kate. How are you, Kate?
Rock on. The word is merging.
Beautiful. Yes, that's a beautiful expression. The word is merging. Same way, any thought, crazy thought merging, good thought merging, I'm a man merging, I'm a woman merging. You see that? They all are waves. As Terry was saying, a metaphor. Yes, everything is merging. Appear, disappear. So that appear and disappear is not me. What remains is me. How are you, Vaibhav? And then we will go to Christina and Ashok. Yes.
Sir, while doing the practice, keeping my awareness to that space, I feel like that I can realize that each thought is very, the life of a thought is very short. And if I keep myself at the back, then I can see that it has come and it will go. I don't have to care at all. And then it was very peaceful at that time.
Beautiful way to explain it. You see that? What happened? The way the waves have a very short lifespan. They appear and disappear. Can I see that any thought, every thought, has a lifespan like the waves? Now I'm looking at Christina. How are you? How can you claim that past memory 10 years ago is disturbing you? They have such a short lifespan.
I know, but not when I didn't realize they were there until they dropped in my brain recently. So processing that. But anywho, I immediately was able, which I was surprised, I was immediately able to go into the space. Usually I start in my forehead or in the crown area. But when we started with the neck and the shoulders, I then was able to just drop into my heart space, and I forgot I had a body for a moment. And I only realized I was in a body because I didn't feel my hands, couldn't feel my feet. I didn't even feel my lips. My lips were pretty numb. And I only noticed once I started sweating and I opened my eyes and my fan had turned the other way. So I came out of it because of the sweating, but I was in it, and then it came out. So that's okay. So
very good. So continue to live into that state. How are you, Ashok?
Sir, namaste. It was a good experience and more aware today, and feeling very light in the body.
Very
like
lightness.
Body light as the body.
Beautiful. That is another. You see, remember their words of Master. What he said, Akash vadanto ham ghatvat prakratam jagata. I am water, waves are many. One wave is the past memory, other wave is the body, third wave that I am rich and poor, fourth wave is I like, fifth wave is I hate and love. Now when you look from that point of view with that metaphor, you know it 100%, they appear and they disappear. Everything that is changing has a very short lifespan. And what is unchanging is ever present. That is all for today. Thank you very much. We will meet again.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.